Welcome back. This is the second lesson number 2 on the series that I'm doing, Living Golf Power Lessons from the Heart of the Game. Last time we talked about the power of consciousness and how consciousness works for us and against us when we're trying to accomplish a certain task, a certain process in the game of golf. What happens from consciousness is we have to really have an acceptance very much from the heart of what we do. The heart of the game is what I like to talk about. The way to get that is you have to shift over into the subconscious mind what your consciousness is realizing. When you do that, you go into sort of a meditative state of acceptance. So it's the acceptance that is the key. So our brain tells us what we want to accomplish, but if we're too intent on that, we will start to manifest a desire to control the action. When we control, we will start to have problems in manifesting the result we want because we're trying to over-control it. We'll basically overreact, and that's the problem. I'm going to go into some examples. I'm on the 13th hole here at Winding Hills, and some examples of how this works and why we have difficulty shifting over into this subconscious acceptance and allowing things to be done instead of trying to make things get done. So important in the game of golf. So I'm going to set up here with a driver, hit off the tee down to this beautiful, beautiful vision we have here on the 13th hole. Looks like we can see forever and hit the ball forever. So I'm going to make a nice smooth swing. I'll take 1 or 2 practice swings just to get loosened up a little bit. And then I'll address the ball. I'll go through my address position and also what I think about when I'm addressing and how I shift over at that point into this subconscious acceptance of the position. The golf swing should be very gentle. We tend to overpower our golf swing. So when we loosen up, we go through a pre-shot routine and we take a few swings. We try to get the shoulders moving. The swing, remember, is always from the shoulders. It's not from the arms and hands. First thing we do always is set the club on the line we intend to let it fly on. We set our feet, and that's going to give us the feeling of the relationship to the ball. From there, we're going to take the club back, thinking low and slow. Again, the same concept, low and slow, and let it go. Never make it go. That's the subconscious acceptance. Here we go. Every time I swing the club, I say ready first. Many times we'll swing before we're ready. So I'm going to go through the actual mantra that I have in my mind, and I'm going to say it out loud. Ready, back, slow, let go. And the ball's flying down toward the green. It looks like it's going to be on the middle of the green. So that was a fairly successful accepting golf swing. And that's exactly what I want to do. So we're going to help you now understand this subconscious acceptance as we move forward on this hole. All right, the outcome of this was pretty good. Even though this is a par 4 hole, I was able to get the ball very close to the green. On the green, actually, it landed, and it rolled off to the right side of the green. This has presented a very interesting shot that's going to help you understand more about this subconscious acceptance. Many times in golf, we get to a position on the golf course, if you're playing strictly by the rules of play it as it lies, that you have a shot that's almost impossible because of where the ball is lying. This is a typical type of shot. The ball is against the rough on the edge of the collar of the green, so there's a lot of grass behind the ball. This requires a significant amount of concentration not to chunk the ball. So chunking is hitting behind the ball, getting it stuck in the grass, and the ball will hardly move. What I recommend for this is several ways of hitting this shot that'll take that out of play. But we have to have a very good subconscious acceptance if we choose to use this. I'm going to be using a sand wedge for this shot. The reason the sand wedge is the back flange of the ball, or back flange of the club, is higher than the front. Consequently, the club will slip through the grass instead of digging in. So if you practice this shot a little bit, this can be very, very effective. What I'm going to try to do is hit the ball right in the middle of the ball, what you would not want to do in a normal chip shot, and I'm going to use a putting stroke. So it's going to be completely a tick-tock motion with a putting stroke, and the ball and the club will flow beautifully through the grass and hit the ball right in the center. So it's going to be very much like a putt. The green has a little bit of a tip here to right to left, so I'm going to play a little bit of a break down to the hole, and it's downhill. So my conscious mind wants to tell me that there's that little bit of break, and it's going to be rolling downhill. I don't say hit it easier. I just feel or sense from my heartfelt sensibility of what the ball's going to do. It does require practice. It does require rehearsal. But anything in life worthwhile is worth spending time rehearsing and practicing. So I'm going to set up with my putting grip and my putting stance. I'm going to bring the club, my sand wedge, back on a tick and through on a tock. So I'm not going to be grounding my sand wedge. My conscious mind is going to tell me to keep the club off the ground. My subconscious mind then is going to accept the flowing motion to the equator of the golf ball with the leading edge of my sand wedge. That's going to give me the relationship I would have with a putter. So let's see how we do. So I'll square up the blade, setting the blade first, then my feet, and I'll make a nice smooth tick-tock putting stroke. Tick-tock. Okay, I got a little aggressive with that. The ball went a little bit past the hole, but it's still in the 3-foot range. So within the 3-foot range, if I construct a properly stroked 3-foot range stroke and square up the blade very carefully, I shouldn't have trouble. So we're going to shift to the next part of the video where I'm going to demonstrate that. Okay, so from that shot with the bellied sand wedge off the collar of the green, I've come up about 3 foot past the hole. It's very important when you're putting and chipping to try to let the ball go to the hole or slightly past. It's very, very important, because if you're short, obviously it's not going to go in the hole. But many times what happens in our conscious mind is we want to be cautious. We want to be too cautious. Other times in our conscious mind we want to be too aggressive. Either way, our subconscious mind must accept at the intuitive level, intuitive sensibility, you'll hear me use that word quite a bit. We have to get into the heart, into our spirit, the mind, body, and spirit coherence that allows a golf shot to be made. And that's what this whole series is talking about, to get you connected to what it really is about making a golf stroke. So we're going to use this 3-foot shot, 3-foot putt here, as an example of this shift from conscious mind to subconscious acceptance. You always start from behind the hole, assessing the left or right tip of the green. So this is tipping ever so slightly left to right. So I'm going to square up and try to hit it firm enough to take the break out and right into the hole. So all of that is conscious thought. Once I get over the ball, I have to bring that over from my conscious mind into an acceptance from the subconscious as I make the stroke. If my rhythm is good, my mind, body, and spirit will accept the flowing motion of that putting stroke. Let's see what happens. I always approach the ball fairly carefully, and I approach the ball also with a slow motion so I can start to absorb in a feeling of where the ball is in relationship to the hole. First thing, as with every club in the bag, we square the putter first, taking our time to run a line, almost like we're shooting an arrow into the hole, squaring the blade perpendicular to that line. Once the putter blade is square, I then set up. How you stand in putting is up to you. The key is you're comfortable. I stand very much like Jack Nicklaus with an open stance and a crouch, and I get behind the ball. You have to experiment to see what's right for you. I square the blade, and then I allow the ball, not try to make the ball go into the hole. Nice smooth tick-tock motion. Tick-tock. And what I did there is I slowed down my tock. When I slowed down the tock, the ball rolled past the hole because it took the break. I'm going to hit another putt from the same position. Oh, that was accidental. Just can't keep that ball out of the hole sometimes. I'm going to take another putt here, and what I'm going to do on this one is allow the putter blade to flow. So my subconscious mind was not totally trusting on the last one. Tick, tock. Now, I'm starting to make an adjustment in my subconscious acceptance, so we'll hit one more and be more trusting yet. So take the advantage of training, using this sequence of strokes to train your subconscious mind to accept. The next one, tick, tock, and I'll be right in the hole. So that's how you work on the golf course to learn how to get your subconscious mind to accept what your conscious mind has realized. Thanks a lot. We're going to see you again real soon for the next video. Next video is on subconscious acceptance going into effect of different aspects from the heart of the game. We're going to be talking more about how we start to visualize and think. Thanks a lot. See you next time.